The time has come, Earl said, to even up the odds. Let's talk about sailing ships and sealing wax and slumbering malt liquor gods. Cap in pocket, people. Never litter in nature. All right, Mr. Badass Andy, before you stop and leave that comment, we'll start with, we're going to deal with filler snatch, but we're going to start in order of importance with a few other people. There's 4 people total. Mr. Badass Andy, gosh, it's a shame that after all I've done for you, you've chosen to side with Phil. Oh, gosh, tastes like freedom. But my feelings on the matter, Andy, is I'm pretty ambivalent about which side you take. As a matter of fact, Andy, I think I might get to you later. There were storm clouds on the horizon, Andy, and you went out and shouted at the heavens. Maybe you should have just stayed inside. Malt liquor. Next, Rainier, somebody no one's ever heard of, threatening to put up the videos that he took down. Don't do it, Rainier, don't do it. And Mr. Rainier, your incredible theory that I just picked Filler Snatch randomly off the internet and pretended to have an argument with him. Dude, that's crazy talk. No one does that, Mr. Rainier, no one's ever heard of. No one does that. That's not really even worth discussing. That's bizarrity. Where in the world? Drunk. You were drunk when you said that. Next up on order of importance, Filler Snatch. Phil, your trash talk video sounded an awful lot like how I imagine a director at a porno shoot talks. Like, it was nothing but talking about what takes place inside your underwear. Kids are really interested in what takes place inside their underwear. I feel a little bad using you like the tool that you are, Rugby. But I needed to get something done, Phil, so I had to shake your cage gently. I shook it gently, and then I watched that 12-minute plus video of you having an emotional meltdown / porno shoot, it sounded like, in your garage. With clips, I guess you cut out the parts where you crumpled in fear and wept on that dirty, dirty floor. I'm sorry about that, buddy. I won't do it to you again, Phil. This is the end of my half of our feud that Mr. Rainier says we pretended to have. That guy's like day is night for that guy. Up is down. He can't tell right from wrong. Where did he come up with that? Now we get to the meat of the matter. Now we get to the slumbering gods. Let me tell you about gods, people. And actually, let's start from the beginning, where Steel Worldwide, I believe, noticed that the malt liquor drinking community was producing gods, but few and far between. And the whole nature of a god's lifespan is because they burn so brightly, they burn out quickly. So he was like, what can I do about this? What can I do to save my community that he cares about so much? And he was like, I'm going to go find a god introduce that god to malt liquor. Kind of trap him like the pirates did to Calypso. But just like the pirates of the Caribbean, trapping Calypso, they realized they became the prisoner of their captive. So we get to the meat of the matter, slumbering gods. Save the polar bears. Now, being a nature god that I am, I don't feel fear. I understand the cycle of life. I welcome it. I won't try to prolong how long I'm supposed to be here. Now, save the polar bears. I believe you are afraid. And I want to ease you through your fear. I remember back in the day when you were a god to be reckoned with. Your voice made people tremble. You raised your hands and 40 malt liquor drinkers sprung out of the earth. You clutched your hand and 40 malt liquor drinkers vanished. You were mighty and worthy. But then you noticed your greats, the contemporaries around you, your equals, slowly start to vanish and fade away, as is right, pork chop killer. Just as you will fade away. So what did you do when you noticed this, when you watched the greats start to vanish, the gods go to malt liquor heaven to sit on the throne, as is their right and their duty? You dimmed down your light. You slumbered. You sleep while time races on, while generations grow up around you. Some not even knowing your powers. Because you husband your powers, you hold them close in so as not to lose them, so they don't spread out. And then you find yourself vanishing, being dispersed downstream to flow into the ocean where new life will return. You fear that, pork chop. And I'm here to tell you this: the time of fear is over. The time to wake is now. Being a nature god, and above all things, I've looked down and listened. I've heard some of the other gods knocking at your door. I've heard Trent call out, "Save the polar bears. I thought we were in competition," he said once, to silence, because you were slumbering, trying to prolong your life. You gave into fear. And ordinarily, I don't care. I rain down on all, gods, noobs alike. But being a nature god makes me mercurial. I could be not caring, completely ambivalent. And suddenly, my focus is a terrifying force. But I also know what gods are virtually impenetrable. Gods are virtually unaffectable. But they do care about the children around them. And so I frightened one of your children, Save the Polar Bears, and you came out of your cave and woke from your slumber and shook your fist, and the ground did tremble, the ground that you created, using the words that you invented. Everyone knows it. No one forgot save the polar bears, except perhaps you. Wake up. The time of sleep is over.